Please welcome Miranda Youngren to the stage.
How many of you have someone in your life that when they feel happy, you feel their happiness? And when they feel sad, you feel their pain? Right now, raise your hand and see how many people feel this way. All right, well, me too. What I'm about to share with you is inspired by the people of Reed Point, Montana. They're moms, dads, toddlers, whom I feel this way towards. Many feel stuck, trapped, or hopeless, and are in painful situations. I feel their pain. I pray that through it, hope shines like a burning candle in a dark room. Okay, one of my favorite family activities growing up was spending a month at my grandparents' house with my two older brothers, and we would hike and swim and just enjoy all the great outdoors, being so different from where I lived in Austin, Texas. At the end of our idyllic vacation, my parents would pile us 3 kids into the car, and we would embark on our long journey back to real life. But August of 2012 was different. My two older brothers decided to stay in Montana and remain there. And our long drive, which was usually boisterous and sibling antics, was now somber and sobering, as we realized things weren't going to be the same anymore. I remember sitting in a restaurant in nowhere, Kansas, with my parents, and my mom and I shared a look and promptly bursted into tears. For our close-knit family, living on opposite sides of the country simply wasn't an option. As much as I wanted to keep my family intact and the thought of moving, I knew that I had to move to keep my family together. So as we began to discuss moving, I knew that we just had to stay together. In Austin, I tried out for it and made the top club soccer team in the city, while earning my way up to earn a spot on the level 5 competition cheer team, which is a huge deal in the South. During a trip to California, a casting director discovered me, and we began to move and make connections towards modeling acting in Austin, Texas. My family is ultimately the most important thing to me, so I knew that with their support, I can make the most of my new circumstances. And that is what I did. My first year at Reed Point, Montana, I set a couple of track records, and this past fall, I earned a spot on the level 5 competition cheer team. By all accounts, things were going great. But something inside of me yearned for more, and I knew if I was ever going to be content with my reality, I couldn't dwell on the fact that the sheep population outnumbered the people population. I desired to meet new people, experience new ideas, and explore new places. And I needed an action plan. How to go far, right where you are, became my mantra. And how to make it happen led me to my 3 action essentials. It might seem ironic to you to hear this from someone who has moved so many times, but my story paints a very clear and beautiful picture that no matter where you live, you can accomplish anything. A Pew Social and Demographic Trends survey updated in 2008, the same year I moved from Washington to Austin, says that most Americans have moved to a new community at least once in their lives, although nearly 40% have never left the place where they're born. When they're asked why they live where they do, those who moved most often said it was for economic opportunity. And those who stayed most often said it was for family and connections. More than 50% of both the movers and the stayers said they liked where they live. According to a recent Gallup poll survey in USA Today, Montana is the 5th happiest state to live in. But on the flip side, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention rated it 3rd in the country for most suicides. Two young person like myself, just setting out into the world to chase their dreams, statistics like these can really muddy up the waters of what is and is not possible. I see my peers drawing their attention, their personal value, from things like having the most Facebook friends, having the most likes, and doing the most outrageous stunt that's trending. But I say, listen to my story and see how you can make a difference in your own community. And that is how you become somebody. I was once asked if I would rather be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond. My response was that the world is round and it is all connected, and that no matter where you live, you can make a difference in your own community. Although Reed Point might be one of the smallest ponds out there, I know that we can still make every effort and do everything within our power to still be the best. It's just us and the people we serve, and that's all we need. We aren't Chicago or New York or LA, and we shouldn't try to be. We are Montanans and proud of it. The Great Northern Mind, this way of thinking and way of life, has recently showed me that I can be everything I want to be right here in my own backyard. So finally, here are my 3 action essentials. These are the keys to unlocking the doors to unlimited potential and unlimited success from right where you are. Number 1 is to explore, because there's nothing for you to tackle unless you have the curiosity to explore and seek out new opportunities. When I first moved to Montana, my initial thoughts were, there are no cheer gyms within 100 miles. Plus, how am I going to motorway out here? Flights to anywhere cost a fortune. But upon further reflection, I saw that there's much more below the surface, and my curiosity was piqued. My second action essential is having courage, because nothing happens unless you have the courage to pursue it. If I am not, wait, what is courage? Courage is the ability to have fear and face danger and difficulties anyway. It is fighting for what is right. It is bravery, gallantry, grit, and boldness. If I am not challenging myself continually every day, then there is no growth or change, and I really want there to be. The great tech pioneer Steve Jobs was someone who was courageous and really stepped out and made things happen. He once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition." Another great example of courageous imagination was by Walt Disney, who said, "All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." So be brave and do what it is that you know you need to do. The third action essential is love, because nothing matters without love. I'm not talking about that sappy feeling of infatuation or how we love our favorite song or new pair of shoes. I am talking about the action of love. Loving on your family, loving on your friends, loving on the people you've never met before, and even loving your enemies. Love opens you up so you can be vulnerable and you have purpose, and it stretches you as a person to take action. Okay, so now you have the 3 action essentials. I mentioned earlier that I have pursued to take my dreams into action, and I'm taking these 3 action essentials to heart. When I first heard about the Miss Teen USA pageant, I immediately shut down the idea of participating, thinking it would be way too far out of my comfort zone, and I'd be put in uncomfortable situations like standing in front of a crowd in my swimsuit. But I have since found that people are people, and no matter where you live, they're still just people. I wasn't sure how my classmates and community of ranchers were going to think of my competing, let alone what it was all about. But the outpour of support was beyond amazing. And I knew that them standing behind me, I had the confidence to bring home the crown. But don't think that the title gave me any special treatment when I got back. The girls on the opposing volleyball teams, as they waved sweetly through the net and whispered about me being a beauty queen, didn't hold back their spikes during the game. But again, people are people. Don't look at me and convince yourself that I have something you don't that might hold you back from reaching your stars. You have everything you need right here, and right here. Don't limit yourself. So love life, and don't spend a second of your day treating it like any other day. Even if you feel stuck or trapped in your own community, you can still make great things happen. And remember, have courage, explore, and love. Grab it and go. Thank you.